Hello, Gush Section 10. My name is Jack Green, and today our topic is the causes of the Revolutionary War. Our first cause is the French Indian War. This war took place in the 1750s. In this war, the British fought an army of the Indians sided with the French. This war was soon brought to an end when the colonists started joining the cause for pay and a sense of nationalism. However, this war was very costly, and therefore the British needed some method of paying back for this war, soon through taxes. After this victory, colonists began to flood the land they just fought for, the west of the Appalachian Mountains. The Native Americans then started what we know as Pontiac's Rebellion. In this rebellion, they captured a fort in Detroit in order to show their dominance. However, after running out of gunpowder, this rebellion was put down. Along came the Proclamation of 1763, which ordered colonists to vacate the West lands. This angered colonists because this is the land they had just fought for. Primarily, the British supported salutary neglect, which was the self-governing of colonists. However, this ignorance of the colonists to their laws made them see that they must end this. After noticing the colonial merchants' growing wealth, George Orwell imposed the Sugar Act, which was a tax on sugar to stop Spanish smugglers. Next was the Stamp Act, a tax on all printed materials, including paper, news, books, etc., etc. The colonists argued that Parliament had no right to impose these taxes because the colonists had no presence in it. This invoked the phrase, taxation without representation. Soon after these taxes, organizations of colonists in opposition to the Stamp Act, the Sugar Act, and many other taxes formed. One of these organizations was the Sons of Liberty. The leader of this organization was Samuel Adams, and in 1765 they burned down the stamp tax collector's office and organized boycotts in 1765. Due to this, Parliament took away the stamp tax. The Daughters of Liberty also played a major role. They refused English goods, made their own textiles, and were non-sympathetic to non-patriots. They even boycotted many different British businesses. Sarah Brooke Fulton helped disguise the colonists as Indians for the Boston Tea Party. There were many riots after the seizing of John Hancock's ship. However, one major riot was March 1770. A group of colonists threw snowballs at soldiers outside a customs house, and after, the soldiers drew fire upon the colonists, killing few. However, Sam Adams called it the Boston Massacre. The photo shown below shows the British as being vicious when shooting them. It can be used as propaganda showing that the British are vicious and that the colonists are simply trying to run away. Adams later organized committees of correspondence, which were local groups that informed colonists of British measures in opposition to them years before the war. The British withdrew their troops from Boston and only kept the tea tax. Parliament withdrew their troops, but to keep supremacy, they still taxed the tea. Colonists continued to boycott and drink smuggled Dutch tea. This hurt the British East India Company. Parliament made the taxes low, however, still making a profit off of this. They could sell directly to the colonists, making it cheaper than the Dutch tea. Instead of buying the British tea, on the night of December 16, 1773, they dressed as Indians, boarded British ships, and dumped the tea into the harbor. After the Boston Tea Party, the British set the Intolerable Acts, also known as the Coercive Acts. They were meant to punish the colonists for the Boston Tea Party. The first of these acts was the Quebec Act, which extended Canada's southern border, giving Canada more land for the French Catholics and less land for the colonists. In rural Massachusetts, courthouses were forced to close. Assault on all who liked Parliament started to happen. They coated them in tar and feathers. Other colonies thought as acts as freedom threateners. They were truly oppressive on the colonists. Fall of 1774. Delegates from every colony but Georgia met in Philadelphia. This is known as the First Continental Congress. Pat Henry gives the quote, "Give me liberty or give me death." Delegates announced the boycott of many British companies and also committees to support these boycotts. Another important event of this time period were the Suffolk Resolves of September 9, 1774. They planned to boycott in Massachusetts until the intolerable acts were dissolved. They quickly gained support of the Continental Congress. They met at homes in Dedham and Milton to plan this. At this time, a defensive militia in Massachusetts was also starting to be formed. This would soon lead to the battles of Lexington and Concord. On April 19, 1775, the British-appointed Governor Gage provoked battles through sending troops to arrest Hancock and Adams and also to find many Patriot guns. Patriot fighters were militia, also part-time soldiers. There were about 70 soldiers in Lexington and 200 in Concord. The colonists were notified of the oncoming British by Paul Revere and many other midnight riders. One famous line from this time is "One by land, twoeth by sea." After not finding weapons in either of these towns, on the march back after the battles, Thomas Gage and his military were then ambushed many times by the colonists. In May 1775, in order to gain colonial unity after the battles of Lexington and Concord, the delegates met yet again at the Second Continental Congress. At this Congress, they gave command of the Continental Army to George Washington. They also created the Olive Branch Petition, which stated that the United States did want to be a part of England's empire and that they would grant that the king has sovereignty. However, they did not want to pay taxes, especially not without having representation in Parliament. After a book was released by Thomas Paine about independence, Republican government, and the Union of States that he suggests should happen in America, the colonists decided that independence was the best method of separating from Britain. In 1776, the Declaration of Independence was made, written by Thomas Jefferson. The most important signer of this declaration was John Hancock. He was the leader of the Second Continental Congress and a strong presence and word in the creation of the Declaration of Independence. In this declaration, the reasons for independence are stated, and one of these reasons includes natural rights. Well, one might ask himself, what are natural rights? Natural rights are the rights that we all have from God, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Among these rights is also voting, in that all human beings have a say in their government, and the ability to overthrow an unjust government. Therefore, why the colonists should deserve to have this constitution and create their own country. Due to the increasing tension that these causes added to the relationship between Britain and America, our founders were able to see that dependence from Britain was the best course of action, and how the country today has come to be. These basic properties of natural rights still have a great impact on our lives today, and we can thank the Revolutionary War for providing us with them. Thank you for watching this video of Explain Everything with us, and have a great day from the Jack Green Company.